Good day to you, my fellow endoskeletons, and welcome back to the channel. It's time for part 3 of the Duratech ship shop tour, so let's get trucking. So diving straight in, let's get to our first ship. We have the Vega A. The Vega class is a puristic shuttle for determined pilots. It's designed for one purpose only: Gran Turismo. The long flight time, our asteroid collision avoidance system, and the Vega's nimble flight performance ensure that you will travel in style and dignity. And we're looking at a cool 5.4 million for this ship. Very cool arrow-like design, plenty of detail across as we have come to expect from Duratech ships. Looks like we've got a very large amount of lights on the front here, and the rangefinders across the front. Some manoeuvring thrusters on the side, and a grand total of 6 box thrusters propel this thing forward. So, let's dive into the cockpit, see what we have. Very cool mouth-like cockpit here with 2 glass canopies hinged on either side. For our cockpits, there is a whole host of information here. Can't quite read what's across the top here, but most likely generator stuff from the looks of it. We've got the rangefinders on the avoidance system here, tank buttons, the standard turtle mode, slow modes, and if we hit the service button we can have a look, see what we have available to us. And we can see the main controls and the flight computers and such is here. So looking for these hatches, knowing my luck they are on the bottom. They are! Here we go. So looking through here, this is where you would access your generator controls. And we've got the tank here, should you need to replace it. But generally you will just do refilling via the resource bridge, which, if I remember correctly... no, it wasn't on top. Let's have a little look-see. Is it straight up on the bottom somewhere? No, on the back. No, but we do have another access hatch here. One receiver, most likely rocking ISAM mono in here, and you've got access to the chips as well. So where did they put the resource bridge? Does this even have a resource bridge? That is the important question here. Let's close up these service hatches. See if that gives us a clearer look on the underside. No, did that not? Why did that not work? Because I probably hit the center button. No, I'm not seeing it. Maybe I am blind, but I cannot see a resource bridge to refuel this thing. Maybe it was hidden away in the back. Let's have another double check. Sometimes I've noticed a few people do like to have their resource bridges hidden away. And yes, missed it the first time round. There we go. So when you come to refuel your ship, that is how you will refill its propellant. Connect to that bit. Lovely jubbly. Alright, let's see how this thing looks with its lights on. So we are looking for lights. Not seeing, maybe spots? There we go. So these are extremely bright spotlights, very, very bright. Not sure why you would need to use them, maybe asteroid scouting, or if you come across a vessel that you found that you might want to salvage a bit later, you can take a closer look with that. But that's pretty cool. I'm guessing this red light is for some sort of warning while you're flying, maybe the collision avoidance system. Let's see, let's turn these spotlights off so I can see properly. And let's turn on the avoidance system and get in the way of one of these beams, see if that light turns on. Nope, so either the code isn't running on the ship shop ships, or it's for something else. Maybe a fuel warning when your fuel is low. But I'll have to ask Duratech on that one. So let's turn these off. There we go. This one. And there you go. So that's this one. But let's look at this bad boy. Look at this truck. It's literally a space truck. which looks just absolutely awesome. And you can see you've got these cargo lock beams for pulling what I assume would be a trailer, but I haven't seen a trailer in any of their other ships, so maybe just hauling either something you'll make yourself or another ship that you're bringing back, although its area of control or space for which you can put a ship behind it is quite limited because of two things. You've got to both avoid your thruster plumes, so you've got limited space up and down, and you have to get it close enough to be in all of these beams, or at least 3 of these beams that are on different axes from each other. So you've got to get it A, really close and not smash into your ship when you're reversing, and B, avoid these. We've got a receiver on the bottom there, most likely for ISAM mono, since I'm not seeing a quad setup anywhere. Let's have a look at the board and see what this is all about. So this is the Thornboga, and the Thornboga is Duratech's equivalent to the beloved hype van, the Duratruck. Originally meant to be just a simple short-range station transporter and hauler, this boy went way beyond that, thanks to the ridiculous loadout, unique geometry and general pimpness. And we're looking at 6.4 for this one. Really cool. Now I remember previous versions of this did have weapons mounted as default on the sides. These are now optional, which is good to see, as that seriously decreases the price. So let's pull these doors open and jump in. Now what I like about this is these doors are manual doors. You have to pull them open, which is really cool to see. Is there limits? Yeah, there is limits on this. Good. So jump in here. This is the passenger seat. You can see the ship name that you can add to it. You've got all the levers across the bottom there, still accessible if you need to change any of the numbers there. If we jump over to the pilot side, here we can see a really nice cool view, just like a real truck, and then tons and tons of buttons. So if we open the service, we can come have a look at, oh, I can't get out, so we'll go this way and this way. There we go. So we got hatches on the top, which is super cool, kind of like thinking like it's got a big chunky engine and you have to access from the top like a bonnet, which is pretty cool. But then also the front opens up as well with a double door system, providing it pretty good armor against the generator getting hit. So this one folds up and then these doors close on top of it, which is quite nice to see. Don't believe there are any other access hatches. Let's take a quick look underneath. Nope. And we have got another mount here as well. So you've got 3 mounts. Well, 1 mount and 2 spare areas where you can attach weapons, which would be cool. Or any other device should you wish. But that is really cool. So we've got 4 fuel rods here that you can refill, and through the top here you can see they've got enhancers. These are class 2s by the looks of it, so they will get both the generator they're on and the one below. And then you've got the coolant cells right there as well, and you can just about see some batteries in there too. Don't think there's anything else accessible from here. All the code and whatnot is behind the passenger seat. If I just flip around here, you can see all the code here, so you can change, have a look, or upgrade any of this code should you wish to do so. But yeah, serious amount of buttons inside there, which is really cool. But the design is just, it's just a really fun ship, this one, with just the styling of it. It serves no practical purpose. It just looks cool, other than being possibly able to drag some stuff around behind it should you wish. Jumping onto our next one now. Let's see, we have the Kenetor, I believe is how you pronounce that, not sure. Scrap-loving, angry little dragon by Duratech, a fighter, a hauler. The Kenetor is both. Roam the extensive asteroid belt or search through salvage of great battles to find everything that's worthy to be found. Or just generate scrap with the ship's 4 weapons if necessary. We're looking at a hefty 18.1 million credits for this one. And this one's a very unique ship in several ways. Not only in its strange design of this huge curved bridge looking structure, but the fact that it's combining weaponry as well as cargo capacity and carrying stuff with its cargo lock beams, which all have to be under here. It's got quite a large thrust setup at the back here. How this balances out in terms of normal flight and when you're carrying something, I would have to test. Duratech logo slightly different on this one, but still looking very cool. And another interesting thing about this one, if we come up here to the pilot seat, is the layout of the cockpit. So you've got a small bit of information here, and your controls are tucked in ever so tightly. But then all these buttons have this very slight angle to them, so you can only just about read what's on them. So we've got lights here, standard turtle mode, battle mode should you need, set the power plant to full, fire buttons, target buttons, we've got range finders there, and is there a service button there? So let's go check those out. So yes, we've got range finders to help you find your targets. These line up with, well, roughly line up with AC cannons there. Some lights underneath so you can see what you're doing, and lights on the front, of course. But here is one of the cool aspects. When you're trying to get said salvage that is below your ship and you can't see what you're doing, you can hit this button and now you're looking down, which is super cool. You've also got a finder on the bottom here, which I believe is here. So you can see, oh, let's just arrange the floor there. So you can see with this, once this hits, you know that you're in range of your target, should your target be long enough to fit this area. Personally, I probably would have moved these more towards the center, just so you know you're over your target, because you could easily miss these and crash something into your ship here, which, well, that would be pretty bad for you. And you can hit this button when you're ready to go, and then you're up facing forwards again, which is just really, really cool. Interestingly, on this ship, there doesn't seem to be any railings whatsoever except underneath for bumpers. I would like to see a bit more of the typical Duratech look. On the side here, we've got the access panel to the generator, so you can swap out your fuel rods here and the tanks if necessary. I don't believe there was any on the bottom, and we've got a matching one on this side here. Sweeping out the back, no access panels here. Now, something that disappoints me a little bit here is the setup for all the plates on the back. Does seem to be a little bit janky to hide these seams. Now, I believe this ship was built before we had the proper 35 and 45 degree beams put in and the 15 degree beams put in, so they came with new plates that could help cover these gaps a bit better, so maybe this one warrants possibly a revisit for a nice, neater plating. But given the amount of designs that Duratech has to keep up to date, I don't see that happening very soon. But a very interesting ship. I may have to get one of these just to test it out, just because of how intriguing the design is in terms of thruster setup and what it can carry. I'm sure I can find a use for it in salvage and whatnot. The front is a little bit neater here with the angled plates and the triangle setup to kind of cover these gaps and give it a more angular look. Very good job here. So yeah, if you want to haul salvage or asteroids while still keeping some defense for yourself, this one may be the one to do it with. Oh wow, is that part of the service mode? So I think this lifted up with the service mode. Let's just quickly double check. Service was here. Yeah, nice. So this protects the ammo there from exploding should it get hit. That would be very bad for your ship and would blow off a good chunk there. Unfortunately, you don't get the same sort of protection from the front against the AC here, but from the top and mostly from the back, it is protected. So that is definitely better than nothing. But yep, that's that one. Moving on to our next one. If I let that load in for you guys, there we go. Let's check the board. We have the Volsung C. The C variant of Duratech's modular speeder design, the Volsung. In this variant, the two basic Volsung modules are supported by additional main thrusters and merged with a big cargo lock frame. It's capable of holding, for example, 30 material cubes in it. The cockpit is repositioned to the front, and the variant also is equipped with enough batteries to use 2 mounted guns that the ship is equipped with. Even though the Volsung C is not a combat vessel, it can defend itself and even attack unsuspecting enemies. Only 7.1 million for this. Now, I do believe the description is slightly out of date because there are no weapons mounted on the side here, or underneath, or on the other side, or the top. We've got a single receiver for ISM mono at the front. Loving the use of the rails here, much more prominent on this design, which looks really, really cool. Even worked out here to go around the radiator mounts, which is cool. On the back here, we've got plenty of thrust to go plenty fast. But the main part of this ship is, of course, the cargo lock frame, which is this large area here. So once this turns on, anything in here will be locked in place, and you can just take that. So this can be used for salvage, or you can use this for ore mining as well, which will be pretty cool if you've got a ship out there that you're just going around with a teammate and they've just found some rare ore that they don't quite have space for and don't want or can't chuck away anything that they've currently got, so you can take it in this. So you can double duty this ship as a defender or a scout as well, which will be pretty cool. And if I turn that on, this is what that looks like once it's turned on, which is pretty cool. So jumping in, we've also got 2 lights either side of the cockpit. If I find the lights button, you'll see how that bright that is. Not as bright as the other one, thankfully. So yeah, pretty cool, nice blue light there, and it doesn't really impact the displays too much, which is a good thing. Too many ships have lights that completely interrupt their display and yeah, make their displays kind of unusable, which you do not want. Other than that, you've got your typical stuff that you'll find on here. Service, we'll turn that on, go have a look at that. Slow modes, turtle modes, and rangefinders as well, I would presume. Yeah, 1 rangefinder right in the middle there, so you can check your ranged targets and so you don't crash into things. So with service mode, let's just turn off this field. I believe there's another button for it here. There we go. Interesting, this wasn't a service panel, but most of the service does seem to be underneath. We've got the generator access to batteries there. Stick your head up in there a little bit. Further back, we've got fuel, and more fuel. Well, propellant in this case. And same on the other side, and access to the generators as well. Anything on top? No service on top. Oh wait, I tell a lie, 2. 1 each side, which gives you access to YOLO and the main flight computer and the FCU and the transponder there as well. So yeah, if you're looking for something that can help out your miners and escort them at the same time with a few weapons, this one might be a good choice. It probably won't hold up too well in combat, depending what it's made out of. But with constant changes in terms of armor meta and weapon meta, it's probably not going to matter for a ship like this. But you could hold at least some sort of defense while your miners get away against your attackers, providing there's not too many of them. So probably a good choice here. Should you wish to set up a small fleet to go mining with, this can help you out for that. And then our final ship here is the Knotnagel. And the Knotnagel, class made for Duratech, stands for purism, toughness and top speed. Yet is not actually a Duratech ship. At least we didn't want to admit it openly for a long time. This is already indicated by its untypical name, Emergency Nail, meaning stopgap, born purely out of necessity and without the prospect of a great future. This uncreative box ship should have ended up on the scrap heap long ago. But he's tough, this nail. The original version was modified and extended many times. The result was a real workhorse that's appreciated by aspiring beginners and rare ore hunters alike. This latest version has a capacity of 56 cargo crates and a top speed of 150 when empty and 130 meters per second when full. And it now has the option of retrofitting a mining laser, fixed or turreted, and a collector. The practical automatic distance closure device, navigation via ISAM mono, and our proven oversized bumpers round off the package. And it's not too expensive either, only 12.3 million, so pretty small cargo capacity, but you get the top speed, which is pretty damn good. Not sure on the distance here that this could go, but 4 medium tanks for this small of a ship could probably take it pretty far. So let's have a little look around. Very interesting design compared to all the others. I can see what they mean in the description by they didn't want it to be a Duratech ship. But when it comes to performance, sometimes you've got to sacrifice the looks. It has a hell of a lot of thrust on the back here with all these engines. Although I would probably flip some of these around for thrust balancing, I'm sure it performs fine. And then you've got this strange secondary framework. So you've got the main frame that seems to be supporting everything in here. That's this area. And then you've got an external frame here that surrounds everything else and has a little bit, they've tried their best here, look, with the little detailing that sticks out over the radiators here, some lights, but everything is all exposed, all cabling, piping, fuel tanks, batteries. I'm assuming the generator is either on top or below, yeah, on top here. And given the shape and style of the ship, I would imagine that it's symmetrical. So let's just take a little ganders underneath. There we go. Another set of generators there too. So let's have a look at the cockpit. Jumping in. Here we have a very basic setup as well. Goes along with the rest of the ship theme of just standard controls, very few readouts and very few buttons. But pretty standard stuff here. Let's turn on the lights as well. And we have a service mode, although I don't think it needs a service mode because there's no plating. But looking at the outside here, we've got these lights on the front which illuminate pretty well in front of you, but if we look here, you've got access to the main flight computer and the flight control unit and the transponder, all within easy reach, right behind the pilot seat here. But look at this here, we have a mounting point here and a mounting point here. So this is what I mean in the description by being able to retrofit it. You could easily fit the mining laser here on a turret mount to turn if you want to do so, and then under here there should be enough space to just put a collector on a fixed mount. But all in all, a pretty nice ship. Now I did put the lights on, so why these ones at the back aren't on, I'm not sure. Let's just see. They are definitely wired in. Let's have a look at the name. This is... not getting any data on that. Just lamp on. Maybe these ones forgot to be named, who knows. Let's just check the front here. This one is called light, so they probably just forgot to name those, or they turn on with YOLO code and for specific situations. Now the YOLO code on this one is all located underneath the seat behind here, and you can access and change out or add to any of this should you need to. So tell me in the comments what you thought was your favourite ship out of these 5 so far. For me, it's gotta be the Duratech, and yeah, this one takes a second best one as a kind of optimized bare bones mining ship. I really like the look of it. Even for a box, they've still found a way to make it look unique and stand out as their own. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Kenetor, out.